Hi, it's James Rosowsky from Built Prefab in Kelowna, British Columbia. I'm here today to do a tour of our new design process. So I actually recorded this video previously in one long session where I went through the floor plans and then I went through all the options, but honestly, it was just too long. So if you see it now, there's a whole video on our floor plan. It's about 20 minutes, and then I'm going to do an entire video now on our design process, which will probably take 20 minutes. So just so you know, we're in Kelowna, BC. We design, manufacture, and install premium prefab homes, and we build modular. Obviously, we try to do some cool looking houses and make them energy efficient and make them easy to buy, which is why this design process is so important. So if you download our design catalog from our website, you'll get right on page 5. Well, actually, you know what is easy for me to do is to just show you, just so if you haven't. There's our design catalog. Got a lot in there, but yeah, page 5 lays out that process, and this is what we're going to talk about in this video. So here's how you could go about buying your own home from us. Choose your floor plan, then we're going to do energy performance, kitchens, baths, millwork, floor coverings, windows and exterior doors, lighting, exterior finishes, and facades. And I mean, you might think the order's a little weird, but at the same time, once we get going through this video, I will definitely be able to show you some very good reasons why. So real quickly, this is Built World 2020, and the world was created so that we could show our houses in the context of other houses. There'd be something to look at from the inside and the outside, and really give you a great perspective. Of course, you know, you can run through all the houses. I'm not going to do that. That's the daylight, and then we've got the Dakota, flip to the holiday, whatever. We're not going through these. They're all on another video. But what I will say is these floor plans are ultimately your first step in understanding what kind of house you want to build. And I guess what dictates your floor plan is obviously a few things: budget, site requirements, and then of course, what are your personal needs? What do you need it to do? How many people are going to be in there? What do you like to focus on? So every house has a real focus on the kitchen area and like open living, but there is so much more that you might have that would really dictate which floor plan is best for you. So what I would suggest is when you do find your floor plan, what we're going to do is we're going to work on the floor plan to ensure that it really suits you. So, here's the standard floor plan, but if we have to move a wall around, most of the time it shouldn't be that huge of a deal. We've done everything in 3D. Everything is highly component based. So making changes is part of your standard design agreement. But obviously, if you get into the custom territory, then we're gonna talk about a different arrangement. Anyhow, so say you've chosen your floor plan. What you would find is we have a model guide for each unit, and in there you're going to find a bunch of options. But what I'm going to do is sort of take you through the general idea of what all those options are and show them to you. So you've got your floor plan. Our next step is actually to talk about energy performance, because we sort of have a couple standard details for our building envelope, and I guess I'll show you this one here, standard detail 1. And in essence, this detail is almost 8 inches thick. So you got your drywall, air barrier, 2x6 framing, or rock salt in the wall, and then plywood sheathing with building wrap, and then rain screen. And then you put your exterior material out there. So that's a standard detail. And with the roof and the rest of the way the building's built, we're going to typically exceed any building code requirement. However, if you want to get into like a higher performance level, our best bet is to go with some rigid exterior insulation. And that's the second detail. But the thing is why we deal with this really early in the process is because if you add 2 inches to the exterior wall and make this whole thing 10 inches thick, well, typically that's coming from the inside of the building. Like, we don't go outwards, we come in, and so that's going to require a few changes to the way the house is built and some of the features. So like maybe we're going to have to move some windows or doors, or we're going to have to move our change the way the millwork's laid out or whatever. So it's a very early thing that we need to understand. Like, how thick is that wall going to be? Because it's going to change the layout ever so slightly. You may not even notice the couple inches in the house, but definitely in the design phase, we're going to notice that. So anyhow, once you've chosen your floor plan and your energy performance, we move on to kitchens. And right now, which is just at the beginning of Built World 2020, we have sort of like 7 standardized kitchens. And they all show the Frigidaire professional appliances, which we really think are cool because they fit from small to large right with our whole design scheme, and are actually high value for the amount of money they cost. I personally think so. We move from a one wall kitchen. I should have said that while we were talking. A larger one wall with a larger sink. Then we move into one wall with an island. Then we're moving into like the 36-inch fridge with an island, cooktop, wall oven, microwave, built-in microwave wall, and then, dishwasher and everything like that. And then, then we start moving into corner kitchens, bigger corner kitchen, and even into our sort of like massive one. And these are really starting points for your design. So we're going to customize this kitchen to suit your needs. Like if you want open shelving or you want some full height cabinets, whatever, it's not that hard for us to customize it. And that's part of this. So we're going to select our kitchen and then we're going to go into our bathrooms. So again, we've standardized a lot of this in Built World 2020. So that's our single vanity with a tub, single vanity with a shower. Then we move into this idea of a double vanity with a tub, double vanity with a shower, and there's our half bath. And then, of course, we've got the big bathroom sort of set up for the shore, the coast, and even the mountain. I think it's in 3 houses. But we could literally put this bathroom in any house. But obviously, if it's a small house, you're not going to have the same amount of living space as you might have. It really depends on your priorities. So kitchens, baths, millwork. So we're going to talk about your closets. This is a standard closet we show in everything. So like 8-foot sliding doors with a rod and a shelf to suit your room size. And we have these in sort of everything from 5 feet all the way to 12 feet wide. And then the other option is to go like with the full-on built-in millwork style where we do this custom for every unit. And I mean, it's a whole other statement, but we definitely could do that if it's a priority and part of your budget. If you go to our model guide for each unit, we have all the floor coverings set out on the tile and even all the millwork, color fixtures, everything's there. The options are available. So that would be the next step, is to choose your floor coverings. And then after that's done, like I think I was showing, we have basically a range of standard windows and exterior doors. So like a 36-inch door, 48-inch door, and then the whole window setup. And, depending on what your budget and priority is, we would work through that. Also, if I take you to a house, like say this one, the mountain, this window detail is sort of like a standardized window detail, but I mean, who knows what your views are going to be like and where you're going to want to have the windows. Like we could put a big window right in here or up here, or even have one on the view side. But again, it really does start to come down to budget and refining the design so that it meets your needs and then the performs on site. So if you want big entry door, we can easily do that. This is showing a 48-inch door already by 8 feet tall. And so that's step number 4, select your windows and exterior doors. So step 1, choose your floor plan. Step 2, choose energy performance. Step 3, kitchens, baths, and millwork and floor covering. Step 4 is the windows and exterior doors. And then step 5, good. We're here. We'll talk about lighting, exterior finishes, and facades. So lighting first. We have a bunch of standard lights that are shown in the model guides for each of these units. So, you got the 6-inch Dell's recessed light, and then we're using a lot of Cusco lights. They're a Canadian company, and we just love what they do. So they've got a linear pendant here called the Shoot, and then we've got the tube pendant, which I believe is called the Archibald. And then we also have a flare pendant, so we, as an option, and we just kind of cover all the bases. Yeah, and then, in the bathrooms, let's see if we can look in this bathroom. Yeah, we can actually see them quite easily. So we've got the Bedford ceiling light from Cusco, as well as the wall-mounted Vega that's over the vanity. And I mean, your lighting plan would be detailed per your requirements. We'd even pick where to put the switches, so not the end of, or part of the design. And well, one other thing I should show you is the nice light they have for the outside. So we got the Nordic. Oh, there it is. It's a downlight, and we use that on all the units. It comes in black or gray, so that's part of what we would be working on. And I guess it even takes us to the next part, which is choosing your exteriors and your facades. So just to point something out, there's basically two parts to this. You've got your sort of roofline facade type, and then you have your building exterior finish. So I'm just going to take you through the different facade types that we have available. Like one is where we're sort of extruding part of the roof right off the line, and depending on what direction it's going in, it can be easier or it can be hard, because this one's great, comes right off the roof, creates a balcony, the whole thing. That can all be built in the manufacturing facility. If it had to come out the other direction, well, then that makes things complicated, because that has to get done on site, which is one of our least favorite things to do, since we love building indoors. So anyhow, that's part one. You could have this option of like extending the facade, or option two is more like what we're showing here on the daylight, and I'm just going to get a different rendering view. So say we come in here. Yeah, so this is the daylight, and I mean, what we're showing here is just like a full flat roof with a cross-laminated timber facade, and that's really our option two for your roof line. And it's a very simple, clean look, and we really like it because it's also quite straightforward to build. But then we can go up to this next sort of idea, which is our cross-laminated timber roof, and this can create all sorts of cover for you if you want it, and obviously just like a 4-inch roof line, and it's great looking, but definitely adds a bit of complexity to the build, but not out of this world, but just some different considerations. So basically, when we're detailing your roof line, you just say like, well, I like this one the best, and then we'll talk about your budget and the requirements, shading, and all of that, and work through it. So let's just look. And then once you're done that, then what we would do is talk about the materials. And we do have the three kinds of materials, being corrugated metal, a wood material of some kind, and I'll show you the options. And then, of course, a panel, architectural panel, which is typically a hardy panel. So corrugated metal, basically this year we're going with two colors, dark gray, and then I'll show you on another unit over here, light gray. So of course, with the trim, you can make it look all sorts of different colors. So that's our corrugated metal. And then on the wood option, we have two different options. There's a 6-inch tongue and groove fir with a sickened stain that you can see here. Or like we were showing on the daylight, be like a 6-inch cedar with a gray stain. And that's laid vertically instead of horizontally. And so yeah, two options for metal, two options for wood, and then of course we would have as a third option the architectural panel, which comes in 4x8 sheets essentially, and is laid on the house like this. And we would do this either in a light or a dark gray to match the rest of the building. But while it doesn't seem like a lot of options, obviously there are so many different ways you can trim them out. Like you can accent one part of the building like this. If I take you over to the Dakota, the East Bay, you can see how, yeah, same thing we did there, but over here, like I brought it down right off the window. Oh, let's let it render. There it is. Or this one, brought it like that. It is limitless what we can do. And again, siding, in my opinion, obviously comes down to a variety of factors. One is budget, of course. The second thing is aesthetic. And then, of course, one of the real top priorities with exteriors is the building performance, what you're hoping for it to do. So obviously, if you want low maintenance, even some fire prevention, then the corrugated metal or architectural panel is a real good option. But if you like wood, say like for instance here, where you're sitting in like basically a wood paneled area on the exterior, then we've got that option available for you as well. Yeah, so we would detail this in your design, exterior as well, and then of course we're going to provide a full 3D drawing just like this, and you're going to be able to tour the house and see what's happening inside, outside, the whole thing, so that when your home does arrive, you know exactly what you're going to get well in advance, and we work out the kinks instead of getting surprises. So the only other thing I think I missed, which I should have talked about, and I guess as part of the energy performance, is sort of the interior fireplace situation. Let's go to one where I've got both. So here's the Dakota. We basically have two fireplace setups for 2020, and one is this Regency setup where you've got the full glass around and then a mantle that goes right up to the ceiling. And then we do this as well, like a little mantle with or hearth, I guess, I don't know. Do this guy with a little piece of quartz on top to match the rest of the millwork. And then of course your other option is to go with what we're showing in this other unit called the East Bay. And it's a wood burning stove, so we can kind of place this almost wherever you want, but corner's great, and same thing, do a little quartz in there, and that's totally your option. But of course it affects the your heating and electrical considerations as well. So yeah, I mean, that's it. We take you through the whole design process. Of course, during your building envelope and energy performance, we're going to be talking about, the need for gas, electric, how you're going to heat the building as a primary source and heat the hot water, all of those things. Of course, we can do solar on all these units. Every single model this year comes in with I'll just show you here, has its own onboard mechanical room. So right there would be mechanical on the Holiday. And I mean, we've tried to make these homes as you can bring them in, put them on a foundation, and they're ready to go as possible. Yeah, so thank you for making it through the almost 20 minutes here of the introduction to the design process. And as you can see on our website, we sort of have a two-tiered system for design this year, where you can get your whole floor plan detailed out with all your various fixtures and finishes and get your pricing for your lot, that whole thing for just sort of the first half of the design fee. And then once you're ready to move forward, we would do the full detailed drawings for building permits and production, and those at that time you can pay the second half of the fee. So that way it gives you sort of the opportunity to get to know us. We can really draw out your plans and everything, and then once you're ready, you can move forward. So yeah, again, if you need more information, just slip on over to our website at builtprefab.com. Or if you'd like to get in touch, it's info@builtprefab.com. And of course, this has been the design process tour, and we'd be happy to take you through it in person. And also, we're always happy to do tours of these homes via the internet or via screen share. And we're looking forward to talking to you. So we hope you have a great day. My name is James Rosowsky, and thanks for watching.